All right, are we good? All right, guys. Welcome to my In the Bag. Thank you for being here. Today, I'm just going to go through the stuff I bring on the course and kind of talk about what I throw and why I throw them in certain situations. And I also want to say a huge shout out to Sean at Disc Golf Mart for giving me these microphones, letting me use them to record. I really appreciate it. And let's get started. All right, so to start, have to go with the putting putters. So I'm currently rocking these Prodigy PA3s. I'm a two-putter kind of guy, so I have two of whatever I'm putting so I can kind of regulate that offhand balance. But I am absolutely in love with this Fractal PA3. It's 300 soft, and I just love the grip on it, where it's not like too tacky where it sticks to your thumb, but it has enough grip where it won't release early. And they're just slightly overstable. I'm starting to beat this one in, and I'm obsessed with it. And these are going to be what I'm rocking, hopefully, as long as I can. All right, so starting with the putters, going in stability from understable to overstable, we're going to start with my MVP spin. This disc is great for those put it out flat and I need a nice turn shot, or just like a severe hyzer flip shot where I need it to flip up and then even gradually have a late turn. This is exactly what I'm reaching for, and it's my most understable putter, and I feel like everyone should have something like this in their bag. All right, next in stability, we have my Trash Panda Inner Core. If you know anything about Trash Panda, you know this is their staple. You just want something that goes dead straight, very little turn, very little fade, and this is exactly what this disc does. If I want something that I just want to put on a frozen rope, this is what I'm reaching for. It's also a do-it-all disc, so I can put it on a nice anhyzer, I can put it on a hyzer. It might flip, but if you put it on enough, it'll just curve exactly around anything you want it to, and that's exactly why I bag this. All right, next in stability, before we have the overstable approach disc, of course, we have my Discmania P3X. This, for me, is very similar to an inner core, except it has a little bit of fade at the end, which is exactly what I want. I want something where if I need it to have that stability towards the very end, it will. And I just love the feel of this. It's like a Discmania PA3, and if you know anything about me, you know I love my PA3s. So this is a great disc for that. Also, first time I ever threw it, I hit cage, so I knew I had to pick one up, and haven't looked back since. All right, so lastly in the putter selection, we have my overstable approach disc. And contrary to popular belief, I do not bag a zone anymore. I found that it either beat too quickly or was way too overstable. And so I found this K1 Glow Yarnet, and ever since I put it in the bag, I love it. It is just a great disc. I can put it on chop and hyzer. I love it on a forehand, love it on a backhand. It is just so reliable in the wind, just no wind. Most dependable disc. Absolutely love it. And I love how the profile is. I love how slim it is. And with the K1 Glow, they're kind of domey. Not super, but they don't puddle top like the other versions do, like K1 and K3. So you have to have it in the bag. Okay, so now that the putters are done, I bag 5 mid-ranges. So we're going to continue the theme that we had, going from understable to overstable throughout the rest of the bag. And starting with mid-ranges, we have my Rolo, which is right here. So you have to have a Rolo in the bag. It's just super understable. It's kind of that gimmicky disc, but it'll get you out of jail if you really need it to. I will put this on like a vertical hyzer, and I will have it still manage to turn over. And I really like that. I like putting it on these crazy forehand lines too, because we all know I don't have one. So being able to do something like that and have it still pan all the way out and have that turn is something great to have in the bag. And next, Buzz SS. So I have a Buzz. It's pretty beat, but I wanted something that was still more understable than that. And so this is kind of my hyzer flip, just pan out, drift kind of shot disc. And this is beat in somewhat. It's not like super beat where it's just going to immediately burn, but it does have that turn with a little bit of fade still. I love it. All right. You know me. You know I have a Z-Flex Buzz in the bag. This is my baby. This is my trophy. This is my favorite disc, or one of them. And I just love everything about it. I love the plastic. I love how gummy it is. I've beat this thing to a pulp. It will just go dead straight, little bit of turn, little bit of fade. It's kind of like a mini Passion in my bag. It just, frozen rope, I'll throw this thing really far, and it's one of my most reached for discs in my bag. All right, so next in stability, I have my MD3. So this is kind of the same selection as like my putters, where I wanted to have something that goes dead straight, which is my buzz, and then I wanted something that goes dead straight with a little bit of fade. And so that's where my MD3 comes in. This is like the comparison to the P3X. I love the hand feel. The plastic, it's nice, could be a little better. I'm not a big fan of C-line, but just how it rips out of my hand and how it flies just makes up for that. And yeah, it's just a great disc overall. Nice, reliable in the wind, does what you want it to. Okay, lastly, we have a Trash Panda Canyon. This is, in my opinion, the best mold they've ever produced. I love the plastic feel. I love how gummy it is. I love the profile of it. It's also really slim for a mid-range, and it feels like an overstable approach disc, but it just goes as far as a mid-range. And so I wanted to have this just meat hook that goes further than my Yarnet, but not significantly. So this is kind of what we're bagging in that slot. Okay, next in the bag we have my fairways. So most understable is 100% my Falk, but it's not to the point where it just absolutely burns. It is, you put it out wide and it will just drift until it hits the ground. There's no overstability, at least for me, in this disc, and that's exactly what I want. If I want something to just get as far left as possible, I will put this out as wide as possible, and it'll kind of do that overstability, but in understability, if that makes any sense. So that's why I bagged this. All right, so next in the bag, we have my Trash Panda Ozone. This disc is similar to my Falk, except it does have that fade, whereas the Falk does not. So I could put this on the same kind of line, or I could put it pretty straight, and it'll have that drift, and it'll end up further left because of that -3-1 stability. And I just love the plastic. I love how it feels. I love the red as well. I think it's just such a pretty disc. And I love how all of Trash Panda's stuff is recycled. It's just great for the sport. And yeah, it's a great disc as well. So next up, we all know what everyone says. The people that don't love the passion are those that have not thrown it yet. And I wholeheartedly agree. This disc is kind of like a bigger buzz, because I was talking about how the buzz was a little passion, right? It will turn slightly, fade slightly. It just goes so far, so straight. That's all I really need to say about it. It is just a beautiful disc. Goes exactly where you put it. Point and shoot disc. Great.
My favorite disc in Samuel's bag has got to be the Nuke OS. When he throws it, it does miraculous things.
Okay. Finally, in stability, I am bagging 2 Eagles. This one is my more overstable of the two. I also have this yellow one. This one is just my dead straight to reliable fade. This is kind of like a larger MD3. And this one I'm still kind of beating in because it's really cool. But it's too overstable currently. It has that fade earlier than I would want it to be. Whereas this yellow one is just so money. So this yellow one is kind of showing this blue on the ropes right now. And couldn't be more excited to keep this one in the bag permanently. Okay, so lastly for the fairways, my only forehand disc is the Firebird. If you know anything about a Firebird, it's just reliably overstable in the wind, not in the wind, anything like that. It will just go exactly where you think it will. And I love putting this on a chop. I love putting it flat. It's just really torque resistant. If you know a Firebird, you love the Firebird. And that's just a general statement that everyone playing disc golf agrees with, and I do as well. Okay, lastly, we have the distance drivers. And the furthest flying disc I have ever thrown has to be this Innova Racer. It is supposed to be a seasoned destroyer out of the box, and I completely agree. It also has this interesting little bead on the bottom, which I think is really cool. But it has a little bit of turn, a little bit of fade. It just goes dead straight. But it'll get there, but it'll land dead straight. It'll take a journey, but we'll get there. Okay, next we have my baby, my seasoned Nuke. There are like very few discs in my bag that I could not play the game without, and that is this Nuke, the Buzz, and then a couple others. But this thing I've lost, I've received. It has been to hell and back, and I love it. It's nice and seasoned. It's understable, where I could put it on a nice hyzer line. It'll flip up. It knows me. I know it. Does exactly what I want it to. Okay, so next in stability, I have this D3. I was talking to a Prodigy-sponsored player, and he said this was one of his favorite discs in the bag and his most thrown. And so I thought I'd test it out, and it reminds me very much of a nuke, but before I seasoned it in. And so that's exactly how it flies. It'll just go dead straight and then have that reliable finish. And so it kind of replaced out-of-the-box nuke for just this D3, and I like it a lot. Okay, lastly, in my entire bag, I have my Nuke OS. This is my utility kind of dark horse disc, where if I need to throw like a grenade line or something of that nature, I will. And it's pretty much just a get out of jail free card, and that is really the only time I'll ever use it, because I have my Firebird if I need something that kind of hooks like that. But otherwise, this is what I'm reaching for. All right, thank you for watching. A little disclaimer about my bag is there are so many things that could change. My favorite aspect of the sport is adding new things and taking out old and just throwing what is the latest and greatest and what I can definitely think will improve my game. Be sure to check out my socials. Be sure to like and subscribe. Do all that. I'd really appreciate it. And also go check out Disc Golf Mart stuff. It's all going to be in the description. And I'll see you next time. Later.